Our 10th UX slogan is users aren't lazy, they're efficient. It's common when watching a usability test to notice the user isn't doing things quite how you designed. Dare I say you may even fault them, thinking, no, not that way in your head, or stop being lazy. However, this is rarely the user actually being lazy. In fact, in most cases, they're being efficient. They've either consciously or subconsciously weighed the cost, so think time and effort of the alternative, and concluded that the perceived benefit just isn't worth it. In fact, there are 3 common user behaviors that make them seem lazy, when in actuality, they represent examples of efficient human behavior that has to be designed for. 1. Device inertia. 2. Momentum behavior. And 3. Selective attention. Device inertia is when a user has access to multiple devices, but instead of switching to the device that's best for the task, they stay on the device that they're already on just because it's the most convenient. Consciously and subconsciously, they've weighed the time and effort it would take to switch and decided the reward isn't worth it. The second common behavior is momentum behavior. Momentum behavior occurs when people look at but do not choose an option that could help because they've already selected a course and they're going to stick to it. Even within moments, users can become very loyal to the route they've chosen. Another cause of momentum behavior is the fact that people don't always look for the most direct route. They'll follow what we call an inferior path just to get their task done easily, even if it ends up being the scenic route. The third behavior is selective attention. This is when people focus on a particular object and ignore all the other information they perceive to be irrelevant. This makes sense when you think about human evolution. It would be highly inefficient to pay attention to everything, especially with the amount of things that we're bombarded with day to day. Thus, elements that seem unrelated to the task at hand will oftentimes get ignored. So next time your instinct is to label a user lazy, be reminded that those same characteristics are actually the result of efficiency-based behaviors.